The music was pulsing through the pines when Karen stormed out of her pillbox-shaped SUV, her rotund silhouette framed by dusk's last glow, and first impressions shattered the calm as she thrust her phone at us like a judge wielding a gavel, her breath hissing between clenched teeth as she announced we were violating HOA noise ordinances that didn't exist. Laughter halted, guitars stilled, and a hush fell over the dozen friends sprawled across picnic blankets, the crackle of the fire standing in for her missing authority. Without waiting for an answer, she pressed the call button and declared she was summoning the police for our flagrant disregard of her imagined rules, her bloated chest heaving with fury, as though the entire world should bend to her self-appointed jurisdiction. The students from the university, the siblings reconnecting after years apart, the couple toasting their engagement all froze while Karen's calls echoed off the log cabin walls, her voice ricocheting like a haunted echo that refused to let the night continue. My heart thundered against my ribs as she jabbed an accusatory finger at our stereo. The needle-level meter lodged in red. I stepped forward, the heat of indignation flaring inside me, and countered calmly, drawing applause from my wife at my side when I pointed out that the HOA for Lakeshore Estates had no claim on this county-maintained lot. Our permits hung framed on the cabin wall behind us, evidence of our right to gather. Karen's cheeks reddened beyond the natural, her mask slipping to reveal raw panic. She sputtered about covenants, easements, and bylaws that no one had signed, and the crowd shifted, sensing the wind turning against her. Before she could fib again, my sister emerged from the cabin doorway, hands on her hips, and revealed a fresh twist. Hidden in her jacket pocket was a county recording of Karen's own previous phone call threatening neighbors over misplaced lawn furniture proof that she had played judge and jury on at least 3 occasions. The moment the recording played out loud, Karen's smug confidence transformed into a stiff, mortified stare as the crowd murmured in disbelief. Not 15 minutes later, headlights pierced the darkness as a battered pickup rumbled up the gravel drive, the engine's rumble matching the tension in the clearing. A tall figure emerged flipping a spatula, smoke rising in lazy spirals from the grill strapped to the truck bed. I recognized the uniform's patch before the brim of a cherry-red cap turned our way. Our county's police chief, Carl Thompson, dusting off his apron and wiping his hands on a towel, phone in hand as if he'd just wrapped up dinner at our neighbor's place. Karen's jaw dropped, her grip on authority crumbling. She gaped as Thompson called out, "That party's cleared, Karen. I'm off duty and I'm your neighbor tonight. Why don't you turn off the theatrics and join us?" Her face flushed deeper, humiliation curdling into rage. She stammered, but the chief's easy smile and the cheers rising around the fire had already sealed her fate. When Karen realized her call to the county dispatch had landed an off-duty chief responding as a neighbor, not an enforcer, she wilted. Her threats evaporated into the smoky air as Chief Thompson cracked open a burger, offering one with a grin that said he held all the real power here. Karen's posture sank. The weight of her entitlement crushed her as everyone watched her shrink under the gaze of the man who literally wrote the rules. She tried to salvage respect by demanding an apology, but the chief merely raised an eyebrow and said, "Respect is earned, Karen, not demanded." Karen's collapse was instantaneous. Her tirade dissolved into shaky murmurs until she turned and fled into the forest shadows, her scream swallowed by the trees. The party resumed into warm laughter, guitars reconvened around the embers, and the chief still in his apron welcomed everyone with a mock bow, cementing the twist that would echo across gossip chains for months. But Karen's story didn't end there. 2 days later, she reappeared at our cabin, clutching a stack of official-looking documents that she claimed were HOA violation notices stamped by the county. Armed with misplaced confidence, she marched toward our grill station, where Chief Thompson was flipping burgers for the neighborhood kids. Karen cleared her throat so loudly it could have shattered glass, waving the papers like a triumphant flag. The small crowd that had gathered for Saturday brunch turned silent, curious to see if her last humiliation had taught her any humility. Chief Thompson paused mid-flip and turned, his spatula suspended like an exclamation point in midair. He squinted at the papers and then looked at Karen with amused incredulity. "Ma'am, those aren't valid notice. SUV forged the county seal and signature." His voice was calm but carried the weight of law. A collective gasp rippled through the onlookers as Karen's face drained of blood. "I suggest you leave before you commit a third-degree felony," he added, the spatula clattering onto the grill in emphasis. Karen's eyes flicked between her illegal paperwork and the steady gaze of the man who would enforce every law she'd just broken. In that moment, a new ally emerged from the picnic tables. Deputy Ramos, known for her steely calm under pressure, approached and took the forged documents from Karen's trembling fingers. With a flick of her wrist, she snapped photos of the fakes, securing evidence for an upcoming arrest. "I'll be seeing you in court," she said softly, her tone promising that Karen's troubles had only just begun. Karen's knees buckled, her phone slipping from her sweaty hand as she realized she was now facing criminal charges, not just neighborhood scorn. The real confrontation came the next morning when Karen was served with an arrest warrant for forgery and harassment. That evening, neighbors gathered on the porch as Karen was led away in handcuffs, her bulky frame dwarfed by the patrol car's spotlight. Faces pressed against the windows of passing cars. Adults wiped tears of disbelief, and children stared with wide eyes at the spectacle of entitlement meeting its legal doom. News vans arrived, capturing the moment Karen was booked at the county station. Reporters spoke of the bizarre saga how one woman's blind devotion to imaginary HOA rules had led her to impersonate officials and instill fear in an entire community. Broadcasts of her sobbing apology, made under the glare of police lights, circulated online, turning the internet into a theater of schadenfreude. Our cabin party saga had become a cautionary tale about the dangers of power without accountability. In the aftermath, the HOA board issued a formal apology to the community for sanctioning Karen's rogue activities. They commissioned a series of town hall meetings to rewrite the bylaws with real resident input, ensuring transparency and fairness. Chief Thompson and Deputy Ramos were honored at a ceremony for their off-duty heroics, presented with commendations that underscored their commitment to justice even over burgers and brunch. Meanwhile, our annual cabin party transformed into a celebration of resilience. We renamed it Freedom Fest, dedicating a plaque near the fire pit, where unity triumphs over entitlement. Neighbors shared stories of empowerment, and local musicians volunteered to perform free shows, turning the site of Karen's downfall into a beacon of community spirit. As the sun set on that transformed gathering, I looked around at faces young and old, each lit by the glow of string lights and the warmth of collective triumph. My wife nudged me and whispered, "We showed them that the law isn't a weapon for bullies, it's a shield for everyone else." I nodded, feeling the weight of that truth settle like embers in my chest. Now it's your turn. Did Karen's arrest restore justice? Or did we let the legal system overshadow the chance for dialogue and understanding? Share your thoughts. Should power protect or punish? And where do we draw the line between community rules and individual rights?